Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Week 13, Thursday night football showdown. We got a game between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. In the last 5 meetings between these two teams since the 2020 season, essentially, Buffalo has won 4, New England has only won 1, and that comes off of like a long winning streak, or like heavily slanted in the Patriots' favor during all the Tom Brady years. But since Tom left and the rise of Josh Allen, it's really swung the other way. This game is in New England, so it could get a little bit sketchy and hairy. New England is a very good defense. They're going to have to speed up to take part in this game, because Buffalo definitely has the ability to put some points on the board. So let's take a look at everything that we have. The optimal captains, a couple of dart throw type captains, some dart throws to play in the flex, as well as filling out a pick'em card on Underdog Fantasy, and then taking a look at everything on fantasylabs.com. So thank you guys for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, and let's go.
He's a legend.
The Smiz Gang Listener League is back to normal and on the Sunday slate once again this week. It is a 3,500 person tournament, $10 to enter, 3 max. Absolutely no rake, but the only way to find the game is through the link tree at smizzle.tv/links. So make sure that you go over and check that out, and click everything else. Go jump in the Discord. Make sure that you follow me on Twitch so you can catch the Anti-Tinkercast on Sunday mornings. I stream 6 days a week during football season, as well as entering the Listener League, the best tournament that exists on DraftKings. Let's head over to Underdog Fantasy. If you don't have an account already over at Underdog Fantasy, you can get up to a $100 deposit bonus by using promo code ALSMIZZLE, all one word, ALSMIZZLE, on your first deposit to the site. It's very limited right now because I'm doing this on like Tuesday afternoon for this video. And by the way, it's really impossible for me to keep you guys up to date with everything throughout the week, all the news changes here on YouTube, because this video is recorded so early. So make sure that you go jump in the Discord, smizzle.tv/Discord. If you're a channel member here, for $5 a month, you get access to all the VIP rooms over in our community Discord. So we're limited on what we have in terms of the pick'em card here because of the fact that the game doesn't come out for a couple days and they're waiting to see about injuries and everything. So I've got to pick players from 2 different teams. Let's go simply over on Josh Allen for rushing yards, and let's go higher for Mac Jones than 223, and higher here on Dawson Knox. $50 to win 300, confirm. There it is. There's my ticket. Make sure that you go check out everything they have over on Underdog Fantasy this week. That's the pick. We'll see how I do. You can see I spent like 8 seconds going over that. So the 3 optimal captain. Okay, there are 3. Number 1, Josh Allen, the obvious one, averaging 28 fantasy points on DraftKings per game. Multiple games this year above 30 points. 33, 32, 30. This is rarefied air for a quarterback. 39 against Pittsburgh, 30 against Kansas City, 30.92 against Detroit, where he didn't have an exceptional game, but he adds so much with his legs. Over 78 yards rushing in 3 of the last 4. He's hit 70 or more 1 more time this year. He is going to be chased. The league leader in sacks is on New England, so he's going to get pressured a little bit, and that can turn into a lot of rushing floor for him. He also has ability around the goal line to do that, but the real ability for him is the passing game, and they're not going to be an established run team. They are a pass rate over expectation, one of the top passing teams on first downs, in neutral situations. They are a pass first team, are the Buffalo Bills. They don't really have the running backs. I mean, Singletary is good, but he's 5'7", and Cook behind him is a pass catching back. And they went out and they got Nyheim Hines. Everything is built around Josh Allen being able to fling the ball all over the place. And hopefully that elbow is fine enough for him to be able to do it. It was on Thanksgiving, completed 24 of 42 against Cleveland, only 12 points. That was his low on the season. I don't think we're going to get lower than that at any point. But he's going to throw, and he's going to throw for a lot of touchdowns. So if you're playing him as your captain, it is very likely, look at the completions that he gets in every 24, 29, the games that he's had big games where he is a viable captain. 32 points, 26 completions, 42. This game went completely bonkers. 26, 27, 29. It's a lot of caught passes. If he completes all those passes, you're going to want to stack him with at least 2 of the pass catchers on his team. Buffalo, not the other side. I'm not going to use Devin Singletary, even though he's been pretty solid. Gabe Davis, we'll talk about him in just a bit. Dawson Knox, Tyler Bass. Kickers correlate better with the quarterback. It is a positive correlation than most people. With the kickers having a big game, it means the quarterback's not doing enough. Well, if the kicker has 9, 10, 11 points, the quarterback can also have, especially one like Josh Allen, can have a 300-yard day. 2 field goals, 5 touchdowns. Very easy for him to get there. Not necessarily on this game. The total is 43.5. But the kicker does correlate because they score when the quarterback scores. Any other ones of these pass catches are fine. If you want to put Shakir with him for 200, if you think that Sweeney Todd is going to be the guy, go for him as well. So he's one of the 3 optimals. The other side of that optimal is Stephon Diggs, who has been tremendous this year. Clearly the number 1 target for the Buffalo Bills. If we take a look at, I think this is the Bills. No, this is, take a look at Buffalo's targets this season. Stephon Diggs, like, massively outpacing. I love this site. It's like NFL Savant, very basic site, right? I'm not pitching the site. They don't sell you anything. It's just a display site. It's great for like having it behind me on a green screen because it shows you how much everything is slanted towards Stephon Diggs. 30.28% of the market share of targets, 8 touchdowns so far this year. Gabe Davis at number 2 with 15.8, and then everybody else just kind of gets sprinkled in. Nobody else, like, you know, approaching 15%. This is not it is a meritocracy. It's just not a democracy. It basically is like Josh Allen looks for Stephon Diggs. Maybe Gabe Davis latches on to the end of a long pass, and then like everybody else can get like the scraps. That's kind of how this team breaks down. So Steph Diggs on the other side of that, 9 touchdowns, 100 yards per game. That bonus in play every single time he steps on the field. If he has one of these type of games and you latch on a touchdown or 2, it's very possible that he becomes the optimal captain on this slate. And if he is, obviously Josh Allen probably had a good game to go along with him. He gives you a little bit of savings off of Josh Allen, but not much, only like 900. So you're going to have to find some creative ways to get to either of them stacked with one another in the captain spot. The other optimal captain comes from the New England side. Ramondre Stevenson, like over the last 5-6 games, has like over 20% of the target market share. It wasn't like that at the beginning of the season, but it has been more recently. 10 targets, 6, 7, 7, 8. He's worked his way now in terms of receptions for running backs into the number 2 spot on the season. Now, Austin Eckler is running away with it with 80 catches, but Stevenson has 50 catches, and he's ahead of everybody else that you think is a pass-catching back so far, or catches a lot of balls. Stevenson's done more, and he's done it in way less time because he was not getting this sort of run at the beginning of the season. He's really picked it up in the last month and a half. And with the news that Damian Harris is likely going to be missing time and not there for this game, now we get the Stevenson show, the Ramondre show, where all of the volume goes his way. In the last 5 games, he has 1 touchdown rushing and 1 touchdown passing. 23 points, 21 points, 16 points, 14 points, 20.2 points. Assuming that the Patriots get behind in this game, right? Because when it comes to Showdown and building a single lineup, you kind of have to tell yourself a story with the lineup that you're building. If they're playing from ahead, it is more than likely that Ramondre has done some things to get them there. If they're playing from behind, it just means that Ramondre is going to get more balls thrown his way, and every single target is worth 2.3 times more expected fantasy points than rushes. So he is the final nail in that coffin. If you think you can tell the story of they're winning if Ramondre Stevenson is there, and because he's been so involved in the passing game, if he is the optimal captain, Mac Jones should probably go along with him, because with 20% of the target market share, he's at 18% on the entire season, over 20% over the last 5 weeks. There's just nobody really else. Like Jacoby Myers sees a respectable amount, but less since it's been Ramondre season. Then you've got Hunter Henry, and then dart throws with like Devontae Parker. Jonnu Smith clearly out-targeted and routed recently by Hunter Henry. Nelson Aguilar, maybe he latches onto a long one here and there. Tyquan Thornton was cute for a couple of weeks where people kind of liked him. But really, it's this guy and it's this guy when you're thinking about it. But those are the 3 optimal captains. Those are the 3 that you should be looking at. There's 3 more captains that I think are in play. One of them is Jacoby Myers, as I said, has not had a big game, but has seen big games before. He is the number 1 outside target on this Patriots squad. You could go with him if you chose. It's thin. All these are thin. The first 3 guys are the way that it goes. So if you're going to play Jacoby Myers, you think that he has like 125 yards, 8 catches, let's say 1 touchdown, and he's the optimal captain, means that the Bills didn't do as much, and you've got to tie Mac Jones to him because he would be in that lineup. If you wanted to go, I'm probably not going to do this. If you wanted to go with Hunter Henry and gamble on the 2 touchdown game that has not been there this year, fine. I think that is ultra thin. He's not in that second 3 for me. We've seen captain games from Devin Singletary in the past. It mostly happened at the end of last season. Go look at the run-in from him in terms of his game logs at the end of last season. He had like 6 straight games with a touchdown. Like 3 of them had multiple touchdowns. He has that in him when they do things a certain way, right? We saw a 2 touchdown game from him here. They're not using him as much in the passing game of late. They're kind of cycling through their backs, but there is a path to multiple touchdowns from Singletary. And the last one would be Gabe Davis. Boomer bust option for sure. But when he booms, he really, really booms. Like this week where he had 35 fantasy points on only 3 catches. It's thin. All the other 3 guys are thin. I think that you should find your way through the primary trio that we had mentioned before, but that's most likely the captains that I'm going to say are in play for this slate. It's Giving Tuesday when I'm filming this video, so I wanted to mention the charity fundraiser that we have going for No Kid Hungry. If you take a couple seconds, go to smizzle.tv/charity. It's also available in that link tree if you're looking for it. All donations to No Kid Hungry through our Tiltify link are 100% tax deductible. They'll email you all the tax paperwork when you fill that stuff in when you make the donation. Every single dollar helps, and No Kid Hungry is providing meals to food insecure kids all across the country. We have enough money and enough time and enough luxury and privilege to be able to just kind of sports bet and play daily fantasy. We have some extra cash laying around. There's a lot of people who don't. So to try and help out the kids that don't know where their next meal is coming from, please give to our fundraiser for No Kid Hungry. When we hit $50,000, that triggers another $10,000 match from me. So this ticker right below me will total everything up, and please, every single dollar helps. So appreciate you guys. I know the times are tough for a lot of people, but if you have a couple of extra bucks, if you're playing on DraftKings and you're sports betting, I know that you do. So let's give a little bit back, buy yourself some karma before this game kicks off on Thursday night. Let's take a look at a couple of the dart throws before we head over to Fantasy Labs. So my dart throws usually are guys that I'm thinking we're going to be under like 25%. Dawson Knox is not going to catch a lot of run. It's too, like, I think a lot of people after the Thanksgiving game are going to flock towards Isaiah McKenzie. He's probably going to be around 40%. And people are going to forget about Dawson Knox, but an easy way to target this New England defense is through the tight end. And Knox is sitting at a price. That's his captain price. We don't need his captain. But at 6,200, he's going to stay low. There are definitely paths to a touchdown for him. You don't need multiples. You need like 3 catches, 40 yards, and 1 touchdown would be more than enough on a showdown slate with Dawson Knox at what I believe his ownership is going to be. A pure dart throw would be all the way down here. Not playing a ton of snaps. But Khalil Shakir, only 200. We need like this. This is pure dart throw. We are praying that he gets on the field, kind of like the Sims play, kind of like the Gunnar Olszewski play for Pittsburgh, where like if he gets on the field, catches 1 or 2 balls, it's more than enough, because you need an extreme value to open up a path for you because of how targeted these teams are. Like it's hard to find value on this slate. Like, you know, Kendrick Bourne is this cheap. Jonnu Smith is 1,400. Tyquan Thornton at 400. Not getting a whole lot of run. Similar play to Khalil Shakir. And the last one is a little bit more expensive, but Nelson Aguilar getting a lot more run. That 8 targets I don't foresee being a thing. Jacoby Myers left the last game and missed some time on Thanksgiving with an injury. He did return to that game. Doesn't look like it's gonna stand in his way for this one, but you know that these sorts of games do happen where he gets like 5, 6, and sometimes 8 targets for this team, and nobody's going to be on him. Definitely their deep threat on this team. Parker is more close to the line of scrimmage. Henry, Stevenson, close to the line of scrimmage. If they take a shot deep, it's going to be with Nelson Aguilar. And if you latch onto one, if he actually catches it, like the meme, Aguilar, then you end up all the way up top, way ahead of the field. Let's head over to Fantasy Labs. You can get a subscription to Fantasy Labs by going to smizzle.tv/labs with an uppercase L. There's a link down below in the pinned comment. Drop a like on that link in the pinned comment. Just let me know that you see it, because I don't know if people can find it, whether they're on mobile or not. People say they can't find it. It's not there. I guarantee you it's there. Please click the link. Here's the 5 rules that we make, that I make, that I've kind of talked you guys through. Pair your captain quarterback with at least 2 of his wide receiver, tight ends, his pass catchers, and his kicker. Pair that quarterback, if you got like Josh Allen in there, with the skill position players on the other side, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. I'm probably not pairing my quarterback with a kicker. I'm not saying they can't end up in that lineup. with the captain quarterback. I'm just not forcing it to end up in that lineup. Pair the wide receiver at captain with their quarterback. Pair your tight end, if you're playing one at captain, which I don't think you are in this slate, with their quarterback, and limit to at most one defense or kicker. If you want to limit to two, feel free. It's your lineups. It's your world. I personally limit to one, and I don't allow kicker or defense in captain. But if you like doing that, then allow it. That's up to you. You're free to do whatever it is you want. Play whoever you want. We're going to limit, not limit to, we're going to make sure that at least one running back, wide receiver, or tight end where the projected ownership is less than, let's say, 25% ends up in these lineups, and we'll click generate. And don't bother copying these lineups down. It's Tuesday. Things aren't finalized. Projections aren't ready. And you do need to take more time with a lineup builder than just clicking generate and thinking that that's going to win you a bunch of money. You got to take all the time in the world to manicure all of your allocations, your combinations, and the rules that you build to make sure you're getting what you want, where you want it, and how you want it played. So thank you guys for watching. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.